Anyway, my whole point to this story, classical guitar, by the way, is like, it's an acoustic guitar, but acoustic guitars use steel strings and classical guitars use nylon strings. Okay. So the reason I'm telling this story is because the final exam of the first year I took the class was you had to play Stairway to Heaven. And that's completely insane for people who have never played a guitar before, and then you have to play that song as your final exam. That's like, okay, so pretty much you had to, I think whenever we would play during the class, you would be practicing that song and sort of gearing yourself up for the final exam, where you'd have to play that song for the teacher, not in front of everyone, just by yourself in front of her. But that's crazy. That song is really long, and there's a lot of different parts to it, and it's tricky, you know? And this is coming from someone who's experienced with guitar like I was. So it's funny how much was being asked of people who never played guitar, because there were several people who in that class who never even played guitar. I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos, but I'm pretty experienced with guitar, and so those classes were very, like, I did very well in those classes, but there was, like, I'd say most of the people in that class, in those classes, never played guitar before. And so yeah, that was funny. And I did very well on my exam. I can't remember the exact fingerings of the song, how to play the song exactly, but I'd have to look at a tab. And then the next year, I like how he's putting BFGs. I took the next version of the class the next year. I remember the first year, the teacher, you weren't allowed to play with a pick. You had to do finger picking. Whereas the next year, it was the music teacher, like the school's music teacher, who taught the class, and he would let you play with a pick. And there was a lot more paperwork stuff in that class. And I skipped a lot of the class, because I hated school and I skipped class a lot. And if I wasn't so good at guitar, I definitely would have failed the class. But I remember my final exam, you had to pick a piece of music to learn and play, and then you also had to write something yourself. So I still remember doing my exam in front of the teacher, and for the song that I played written by someone else, I actually arranged a medley from this band called Impaled. They're like a death metal band. So I put like a medley of parts from their songs. I arranged it, and I played that on the acoustic guitar, death metal on the acoustic guitar, like tremolo picking and all that. And I remember he asked me, "What is that?" Shit. And I told him Impaled. And then for the song that I wrote, I had been writing, I don't think I had recorded it yet, but I wrote an entire album. I had been writing songs already and recording them with drums and all that, drum machine. So I played one of the songs that I wrote as my for my exam. It was like very hard to play on the electric guitar, and I played it on the classical guitar. And he stopped me like halfway through because I guess I ran out of time. But yeah, I definitely passed the class. I don't think he liked me very much because I didn't go to class very often. Meanwhile, I was very good at guitar, so it probably annoyed him. Okay, so we have a damaging sector. That was a long-winded story that didn't really go anywhere. Is there anything even up here? No. Haha! I stopped shooting rockets right before he went right in front of my face. Okay, so let's figure out where to go. Is that a cell charge? No, it's a clip. Okie dokie. How about let's get out of there? So how do I get out there? It looks like a teleporter. I have all the keys, so there is a red door over here. Not that way. This way. Okay, is this a teleporter? It looks like it. I'll equip the BFG. But yeah, hearing Stairway to Heaven always reminds me of guitar class in high school. And some of the guitars, they were, it was high school, right? So teenagers don't really care about taking care of stuff. So, I mean, half of the guitars were just like falling apart. The frets were like broken, and whereas some of the guitars were really good. So I think it was sort of like a race to get to the good guitar when class would start. So where are the rest of the monsters? Oh, it looks like they're over there. Okay. Do I get there from here? Yes. Okay. One more monster. What? Where is this so-called monster? Oh, it's another wandering demon. Okay. So let's hit the exit then. All right, Death Row is done.